Okay. Some helicopters. You got all sorts of things going on outside. All right. Airplanes, helicopters, fans, you name it. Noise is happening. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I had to update the old Streamlabs, make sure the microphone is working, which it is. And there's sounds like 20 helicopters flying over me right now. You guys hear that? Welcome. It's Friday. We are problem solving right here, right now. So, you guys, the drip, drip, drip of information keeps coming out. Just little tiny crumbs. That's all we have. So, we're still in speculation station. Now, by Tuesday, our charity show, Butterfly is required to reveal who their CEO is. Now, Jake 2B is talking about there's being three options. One option, they tell us who the CEO is. Cool. Now we kind of know what's going on. Option two, they just name the plan manager, the executor of this giant calamity as the reigning CEO, and we go, oh, nothing's really happening yet. Or three, they don't name a CEO at all and take a whopping $50 fine from the state of New York for not naming a CEO. So, I mean, $50 is $50, right? So here we sit and wait and wonder. I've tried to mention to people that the plan that's been put forward by the executor and the bankrupt company has stated that all classes are going to be satisfied. So they cannot harm us, right? They cannot do us harm in that way, and all of a sudden be like, "Wow, we took all your shares from you. Muhaha, you're not satisfied anymore," right? They did say that we can't vote on anything because we're automatically just angry about everything. But if you go to Adobe's up. There we go. You go to document 2172. So this is from 9/14. So just before all the doodads and things were happening. You go down and they talk about the outcome being a going concern. A going concern is the company that emerged from bankruptcy. This is not a company that will cease to exist and it's all over after this. So, that preserves certain of the debtor's business as a going concern, meaning they're keeping the accounting department, they're keeping the Knowles, things like that. We've seen documents come out that they retained like 63 employees, paid for their moving expenses. It cost millions of dollars to do that. So there's someone being wrapped up in this thing, and they're still doing work and they're still punching numbers and whatever. What comes before this? Okay. The third-party release was instrumental in developing a plan that maximized value for all of the debtor's stakeholders. All of them. This means creditors. This means shareholders. This doesn't mean just creditors, right? All of the debtor's stakeholders. We are stakeholders. Those of us who have shares are stakeholders. So we're developing a plan that maximizes value for all of the debtor stakeholders. This is important language in how they came about with the plan and the amended plan, which we have no idea what's really in the amended plan yet. And that's probably been amended more times. There are several documents that have been skipped on the docket. It goes from 2539 to 2541. Where's 2540? It's being held back. The judge was like, hold that one. We know that there's lots of documents that we are not privy to because Ryan Cohen filed a whole bunch of them in his pump and dump case. And both the defense and the plaintiff, Ryan Cohen, agreed on a protection order to hide those documents from the public because it pertained to particular insider information regarding plays that he's making. So here we sit. We are one of the stakeholders, and we want to have maximized value for us. So here we are. I remember to turn off I was worried that I'd forgotten to turn off the intro, but no, I remembered, and I just didn't announce it. I'm getting better at this. Okay, so yeah, so here we are. Here we are sitting, waiting, twiddling our thumbs, wondering what's going to happen. I think November 3rd is Ryan Cohen's birthday. Is that correct? I don't know. Anyway, weird things are going to continue to happen day in, day out, and we're still going to get crumbs until they finally give us like that big, meaty, giant hunk of steak that we've been waiting for. Hey there, fat cat. Welcome aboard, buddy. Show everyone your butthole. There you go. Watt DC gifted some memberships. Thank you, Watt DC. Lil La, Fred Jones, Critchy Chris, Big Whisperer, Peter Frew, Jethro, Alex F, Brenda, Queen of Swords, Wanto. Thank you. Awesome. Welcome aboard. Did I have anything else I was going to throw at this? I may have gotten distracted. Duh. You guys probably bring it up because that's what I trust you all for. I think somebody threw in a super chat earlier. Slobo Knee. Oh, thank you for the... Is that a fox? How is it going? I think it says. I can't quite tell. It's really small writing. But thank you, Slobo Knee, for the fox waving everybody. All right, Leo B wins it. He is first. Huzzah! Dillman's Wharf is angry at him. Leo B, spy keeps dippity dipping. My puts are coming back to life slowly. Yeah, it seems like the entire market is super nervous about things that are about to happen. Jamie Dimon just sold 1 million shares today. It's the largest sale he's ever made, and the first one in 15 or 18 years or something crazy like that. About $140 million in shares. To me, that tells me that Jamie's like, shit's better than the fan. Gotta protect ourselves. So, yeah, it's probably not a great sign when the CEO of the largest bank on earth is like, yours on my shares. He owns like 8.6 million of them, or I guess 7.6 million now. But $140 million is a good chunk of change to accept for your shares. Uku788, MOS on a bankruptcy. I cannot. Well, you cannot if you don't have any shares. So, there you go. John Castro, ninth one here. Mr. Lasuna, in the UK poll recorded just 1% of 18 to 24-year-olds intended to vote Tory in the next election. Millennials and younger will finally buck the trend of moving to the right in old age. Thoughts? I mean, I think overall, the Tories are polling like 9% if they have an election. So, life is not good across the UK. Their economy is shrinking. Inflation's insane. The value of the pound is dropping. And it's all because the Tories were so gung-ho for Brexit. And it was just the dumbest. Oh my God, so stupid. Hey everybody, do you want to make your economy smaller and your lives worse? Yeah. And then everyone voted for it. And now they're like, what the fuck? Me sowing, yes, fuck yeah. Me reaping, what the fuck? Yeah, so they're definitely going to be moving towards a completely different side of the political spectrum, simply because life's beginning to suck. And anyone messaging me important? Or is it do? I think he's just saying, per the space call earlier, some brokers are preventing people from buying Rite Aid by making it unavailable or hiding the ticker completely. Kind of sus. I think because it seems like a lot of the players involved in Rite Aid might be the same players involved in Bed Bath & Beyond. The brokers are like, oh, we can't do two of these. I don't have anything to throw at Rite Aid at the moment, but when I get some sweet candy, I might throw some that way. Oh, you want to play with the cat monkey? There's your buddy. Yeah, say hello. Okay. Scott Pollen was just chatting with a friend, and their parents do risk analysis for BMO, Bank of Montreal. Sounds like they're in trouble. BMO. Okay. Ooh. Not that one. Adobe off. Chrome Chrome on. Wink. 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 So, down day today. How you doing recently? Okay, had a high over 100 back in February. Dropped with everything back in March because banks were like, oh no, we're all going to die because SVB and First Republic. Oh, things are going to be okay. Oh, maybe not. Down to 82. Recent high of 93 back in July. So, yeah. What's RBC looking like? Are they doing something similar? Dang it. Here, I'll put type in stock. RBC's down about the same. Their graph, not too different. Around 100. Spike, wave, crash. So Canadian banks are definitely feeling it. How about their American counterparts? What's they're down 25. Ooh, here date. Fall off a cliff. Oh no, things are okay. Fall off a cliff again. All right, so Bank of America is hurting. What about our Wells Fargo? Wells Fargo, I bet, down 2% today, year to date. Oh, shit's hurting. Oh, nope, sucks again. So, seems like all these companies are kind of the same. What about Chase? Bank stock? I can't remember what Chase's symbol is. JP Morgan Chase, yeah. JPM. At 135, they're down 3% today on Jamie Dimon's selling news. They had the whole, oh no, but no, things are great. We're the best bank in the entire world, and now it's dropping. So Jamie Dimon should have sold up here. He would have made like $15 million more, right? Yeah, like almost $20 million more if he had sold up there. Jamie Dimon, you should have sold up there, ding dong. So yeah, he sold here, made $140 million, announced it, dropped 3%. Well, the graphs look kind of similar. This one's a little more exaggerated for their second peak because Chase is the biggest bank in the world, so they could throw around a little more weight with that. But people know that banks are in trouble, and that's just, what are you going to do? You're going to wait until one or two of them disappear forever, big ones, and the government goes, prints a bunch of money and throws it at the banks, and the banks go, thank you, we're fine now. And then a few months later, the economy's all toast and the Dow is at a bottom, and then you go and you buy it all up. And if you have any money, if you don't, well, then you just go, I wish I had some money. And then you buy your houses at auction and build your billion-dollar wealth system. That's what you do. Scott Pollan, closing car loan department. That is how it started at Wells Fargo. They stopped doing loans for cars. Then they stopped doing personal loans. Then they closed a bunch of their credit card division. And then they closed their business loans division. And then they started getting rid of their mortgage brokers. So they stopped doing mortgages. Like if you're a bank and you're not loaning money out, then what are you? That's your entire job. You accept deposits and you loan those deposits out to make your profit. And if you aren't loaning anything out, then your purpose of existence is null and void. Scott Pollan, GameStop looking good though, as always. Kelly Reed, Cohen tweet, the most important thing to remember is that inflation is not an act of God. Inflation is not a catastrophe of the elements or a disease that comes like the plague. Inflation is a policy. Yes. I wish Ryan Cohen had not quoted Mises though, because Mises is just the worst. Austrian school economics, man, supply side ding dongs that like never ever take into account like humanity, that humans have wants and desires and drives and needs, and that like they pool their resources together to achieve things. They just kind of ignore that whole thing and never have an answer for like when there's turmoil. That's why we've largely become a Keynesian economic system. I'm going to close this door. My roommate loves to have really loud arguments on Discord, walking around the house with a speakerphone, and it's loud. And so like Ludwig von Mises is, he was kind of rendered obsolete in the 1930s when John Maynard Keynes came around and was like, look, we can avoid communism by not being dicks. And saved capitalism. A lot of people don't want to admit that, but when we adopted his policies, we did not have a financial crash until we started straying away from his policies again and deregulating everything. And then 2008 happened, and people were like, "Huh, how could you see this coming?" Well, John Maynard Keynes in like 1937 told you this was going to happen if you did that. So here we are. Kelly Reed, BMO Capital Markets is warning investors that residential construction investment is plummeting. The drop may indicate the slowdown in new homes could drop even further in the near future. Yeah, if your construction loans are like 10%, right, and your potential buyers are going to be buying homes 8%, none of you are coming out on top of this. Like, the homes aren't going to get sold, or at least they're not going to get sold at the cost at which you built them, right? Because interest rates are so high, people have got to cut their costs almost in half what they expected to buy 2 years ago. So you're going to have to make sure home prices are basically cut in half. So if it costs you $250,000 to build a house, and you want to sell that house for $500,000, but the person who normally would have bought the house for $500,000 2 years ago now has to buy it at $300,000, well, the incentive to build like they've been building before is disappearing. And, I have no idea what the situation's like for like international billionaires who are trying to buy up real estate all over the place. Who's been a large contributor to the ballooning of real estate prices in Canada, especially. A lot in major cities in the U.S. too. I don't know if are they thinking of real estate? Are they going to avoid real estate? Are they just going to buy a bunch of gold? I don't know. If you want to get the hell out of like China because you're the mafia dude or something, or they're gonna party come cracking down, you're gonna want real estate in Canada so you can get the hell out, because Canada will take you as long as you got $250,000 in wealth. Canada will let you in. You can get a visa pretty easily. In the U.S., it used to be pretty easier for them to do visas. You get the green card visa program. What was it, Monkey? Where you'd spend $500,000 on an investment in an economically depressed area. So there's certain geographic locales that have been labeled by the government as like, this area is depressed. If you spend money to invest in a project, factory, whatever, you can get a green card. And during the Trump administration, they upped that to $1 million, which was weird because it hurt investment in the United States. Because a lot of people, they can come up with $500,000, right? Like if you're a rich guy in, I don't know, Lebanon or Pakistan or something, you want your kids to be able to get the hell out of those countries, you got $1 million. Boom, green cards for 2 children, done. Now it's $2 million to get green cards for 2 children, and they're like, I might look at another country. And so it's actually hurt outside investment in the United States. So, right, Monkey? It's a little more expensive in the U.S. to get here than some other countries. Like if you're going to live in other countries, you have to like have a job that pays you a certain amount of money and whatnot. United States, you just invest in like a poor area, build a factory or apartment building or something, and they'll let you in. So there were rackets that were basically shaking down rich foreigners to get them green cards. Like, hey, you're a rich foreigner. We're going to build this building in Federal Way, Washington, because it's a depressed area. And if you invest $500,000, we'll get you a green card. And they're like, all right. And so they were shaking all these dudes down, and like the projects weren't going through. And there's like I think the Seattle Times won some sort of Pulitzer award for like the crimes that ensued from that. But why are you staring at me like that, dude? What'd I do? What? Normally you don't care what I'm doing. Don't look over there. It's not time. I mean, we just started. You are not getting the stinky chicken. It's not happening. Not yet. Okay. Kelly Reed, dumb it down. Shit's fucked. Yeah. Cliff Pippin. Can you discuss Webull and their penny for a lot transaction? Appears they sold all my shares for 1 cent. This just an accounting procedure on their end, or am I screwed? The penny for a lot procedure, I believe. Oh, Monkey's kicking the cat off. It's a battle. The penny for a lot procedure, I believe, is something you have to opt into, if I remember correctly. That basically, you'd be like, oh, take my shares away. I want the tax loss. And then Webull goes, okay, you fucking idiot. And they take your shares away. And then they get your shares. So I do not recommend signing any document they give you for that penny for a lot thing, because that is declaring a loss on that stock. And I think it's because the par value now for Butterfly is 1 cent and not 1/100th of a cent. So that's why it's 1 cent. I think it's the least they have to give you. So don't do it. Instead, call them, have a hissy fit, make sure you are still the person on record as owning those shares in case there's a distribution of equity, as it appears, or we believe it's going to happen. So that's what I recommend. This cat's gonna go try and snuggle now. Dog's like, damn it, I just kicked you off of here, and now you're gonna snuggle with me and make me want to get off of here. That's right. Look at those little buddies, huh? Look at those little buddies. Oh, what sweet little camels. Yes. Monkey hates it so much when that cat snuggles. It's disgusting. Moo Poolin, can you explain the final analysis of the options closing at this point? Also, what exactly was the governmental bar date? Does it mean anything substantial? The governmental bar date? I don't know what the governmental bar date is, but it seems like some of the options closed and some of the folks got money for their options, and I can't find much distinction there. Some people got money for their options and then they took away the money for their options. I do not know what any of that means, or why or how. We have no answers. So, like, yeah. So here we are. Slow Bunny, like Houston, Heart the PP Show. Mupulin is a reference we can find where Hertz, before returning to NASDAQ, filed their S1 or similar documents ordered to gauge how far we are along in this bankruptcy proceeding. I'm sure there's something in Edgar we could do for Hertz. SEC, Edgar, Hertz. Oops, did I misspell Edgar? I did. Try that. Okay. Hertz Global Holdings. Okay, we're going to look for filings. Let's view filings. We can go back to 2021. 2020, oh, so many filings. 2022, 2022, 2021. Statement changes beneficial ownership securities. They pop back onto the market. I think it was like November 9th. So that's November 12th, 8th. Registration adding securities, prior S1 registration. Securities offered to employees. Prospectus, notice effectiveness. Registration securities section. It might be, no, because they're trading again before they went back to the market. So general report form, current reports. This is them doing reports. Okay. Current report, initial statement, beneficial owner securities. That's August. August. Initial statement, beneficial owner securities. Must be one of these. Departure of directors. We had departure of directors happen. That happened to us. This statement beneficial owners. Let's see what this is about. Okay. No, it's insider. No, we're going to ignore that. No, that's not what I want. Current report, September. Current report. Departure of directors. General form registration securities under which merger act 1933. Okay, maybe this guy. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm not at all showing you. Okay, so this is their S1 that was filed. This was like October, I think it was October 15th. Remember what just happened this? What was it? October 12th. October 15th. This is October 15th. They went back to the NASDAQ on, I think it was November 9th. So less than a month after this was filed. And then the stock started exploding. And it hit like a $45 high while it was in the OTC after this. So this is their S1. Hertz Global Corporation, the selling stockholder identified the practice of selling prior to offering. So this is them saying they're doing an offering. And the offering, I think, was the issuance of these new shares to the Underwriters options purchase additional blah, blah, blah. Goldman Sachs, Barclays. Okay, the offering. Let's go to the offering. Okay, the shareholders have granted the underwriters an option to exercise accessible for 30 days from the date of this prospectus to purchase up to additional blank common stock. At 471 million shares common stock, we will not receive any of the proceeds from the sale of shares common stock by selling stockholders this offering. We expect that our directors, executive officers, certain holders common stock securities convertible to exchangeable from our common stock, including selling stockholders, will enter into a lockup agreement with the underwriters through the date. Blah, blah, blah. Investing our common stock involves substantial risk. Yakety, yakety, yakety. Number of shares common stock outstanding offering is base 471 million as of October 7th. 88 million of common stock issued upon exercise. Price of $13.80. So they set their standard at $13.80 right here. That's what they did. So this was their floor. This is how they went from 40 cents to 40 whatever dollars, because they did an offering at $13.80. So that is how they triggered their little squeeze from 40 cents to $45 or whatever it was. So this is something we might see. We could see, because ICANN was involved in this play. ICANN was on Herz. So he definitely bought shares probably at pennies and was able to check out at above $13.80 when he wanted to. So boom, there you have it. That's how they did it. They did it through an offering. I don't know if they issued new shares for everybody or if they just took the queue off. But yeah, they offered $13.80 and that did it. Shebang. Shaboom. Okay. Boss talking shit. Boss, chill out, baby. Chill out. Things are gonna be A-okay. No need to talk shit. Bankruptcy is almost over, man. They've initiated their plan. They're emerging from bankruptcy. It's almost over. One idiosyncratic risk stock as GME. I mean, GME is the king, but GME is not the only one. There's a whole bunch of stocks in that basket, and not the only stock that's ever been shorted by these hedge funds. The hedge funds have shorted cajillions of these stocks. So there's a lot of them out there that are excellent plays, and will all fly if and when a MOAS happens, just like they did January 2021. We had a huge basket go whomp, and everything went up hundreds of % on these stocks. And then exactly a week later, the same thing happened in the OTC market. So there's a lot of plays out there, and I'm in GME, you're in GME, most of this chat's in GME. We know the GME is like the king around here, but there's other stocks that are there. And you know what? While we wait, we're playing around. We're killing time. We're living our lives, and we're like, I don't know. I see other stock plays as like entertainment expense. There's something interesting other than just buying and holding. Like, oh, I bought and hold my GME. I got that. Bronk. Now my brain wants to do other things and be entertained with other stuff. Like I had a whole bunch of viewers that early on that wanted me to only talk about GME all the time, every day, all day. And there's more to life than just saying the same thing over and over and over again on GME. Buy and hold. Trust the process. Get more when you can. That my brain has to be tickled in other ways to keep going. Like, you know, I remember, like as a kid, I'd be in class and the teacher was telling us stuff. I didn't necessarily take notes, but I would doodle. And in the process of doodling, I would get this information in my head through my ears and I would retain it forever. But I would draw pictures of like bunny rabbits and houses and airplanes and cars and stuff. This is sort of my doodling. I need to occupy my other parts of my brain with other stuff to make sure the rest of my life is functional. And here we are. Okay. Andrew Stewart, Houston, ever heard of the Nutty Putty Cave disaster? Terrifying stuff. We talked about it on the show a few months ago. That's the one where the young man went down a cave, took a wrong turn into what he thought was going to be a chamber, got his head wedged, and then they tried to get him out, and he basically suffocated to death over like 4 days. And they just like sealed the cave. And we're like, that's his tomb now. So there's some desiccated bones stuck in a hole like 1,000 feet below the earth in Utah. Caving is of no interest to me. I have zero desire to crawl into a cave and search for hidden chambers. Like, nope. By all means, other adventurers, climb into those caves. I will gladly go into a cave system where someone else has mapped it all for me. I have no desire to be the explorer to uncover deeper and scarier holes in the ground where I can get my head wedged and then, over 4 days suffocate to death. Not interesting to me. Alexander K. Happy birthday, Houston. What's a costume that can only be pulled off when having a mustache? You can do any costume you want with a mustache. I mean, I might shave myself a mustache for my Halloween costume on Tuesday for Charity Tuesday. It'll work. Mustaches go with everything. Now, there's some you can only do with a mustache. Like if you're gonna be Burt Reynolds, you got to have the mustache. If you're gonna be Magnum PI, you're gonna have the mustache. You just can't not have the mustache. But you can be like, I don't know, sexy cop and a mustache. You can be a clown with a mustache. You can do whatever you want. You can be a roller girl with a mustache. Do whatever you do. Mustaches go with all occasions. And as long as you can grow one, or put a fake one on, or I got a sticker of one right here you can wear. Just bonk. There you go. Mustache. Good to go. First name, last name. And he does cover the Nutty incident, amongst others. Yes. Slobini, we should tip this guy. Nobody work for free. Like the joke. Give him some money. Simple as that. I accept. I got 300 of you in here. I've got an hour and a half to go. I likely will not be able to get to everyone's questions. And this is where my roommate tells me, you need to tell everyone about Super Chats. If you really, 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 really want me to answer a question, really want me to get to it, and guarantee you'll see it, have the question come up in like blue, green, red, yellow, whatever, and click the little Super Chat button. Otherwise, I might not get to it. I hope to get to it. I try to get to it, but I got a 2-hour window, and that's what I got. So my voice runs out usually after 2 hours, and I got shit to do. Okay. First name, last name, Houston, the older lady shopper with the chicken and toilet paper. You said something about making a sound studio. That was a random joke, or am I missing something? It was a joke that this 95-year-old woman was padding her walls to make a silent sound studio out of the 4 packs of toilet paper she bought every single solitary night of her existence. I just wanted to go to her home and see what she did with all that toilet paper. We were fascinated as grocery baggers. We talk about it every night, like she bought another 4-pack. This is the 7th 4-pack this week. Where's all this toilet paper going? She just like sticking in the toilet and flushing it, watching it just spin down the toilet. Because, it's fun. Yeah, Bonnie. Oh, what a mean lady. Louis. He's got his Moas stickers. Thank you, Louis. First name, last name, Hot Boys and Girls. Where are you? We haven't had Hot Boys and Girls in so long. I miss them. I miss seeing Hot Boys and Girls pop into the chat and spam us until somebody got rid of them. I was really hoping that whoever's behind the Hot Boys and Girls account would actually donate on Charity Tuesday one of these weeks, one of these months, and that we just let them have free reign in the chat because they donated, and they never did. So, Hot Boys and Girls, we miss you. My guess is that YouTube probably did some sort of algorithm and cracked down and deleted all the accounts that could come in here and spam us. But it's like, it's like missing a festering wound. Like for some reason, it was a partner of mine. It hung around. We were in this together, and now it's gone. And I just have the scars of its existence laying there. It's only a memory. Allegro Grub, Houston. Happy birthday. Any updates on No Labs? Still think it's going to squeeze. Have you heard of the ticker RADCQ, Rite Aid? Many are talking about it in the BBQ spaces. Rite Aid has all the same legal teams that Bed Bath & Beyond did, so people are very interested in that. No Labs No labs, we're waiting for them to give us a report on their phase 3 trials. And I have no idea when that report will come. I'm hoping it will come before the end of the year. But they're doing trials with their sellable devices, like the devices that will be going to the consumer market. That way, if they pass with flying colors with a third-party double-blind study, they can then apply for the FDA approval. And if they get the approval, girl, that's gonna be so delicious. So there we are. Derek Colhorse, give me that bread. Yeah, give me the loaf. I want the loaf. First name, last name. I just want to know what the fuck is going on with MMAT. Sigh. Hangman. People were started last night implying that certain Acme is also involved in this giant butterfly overstock Bed Bath & Beyond play. That's as much speculation as anything else. It's got butterflies. They go beyond, etc., etc., etc. Beyond that, I can't talk. I don't know. No one tells me anything. Okay. Slobo knees. He's carnival barking for me in here. Thank you, Slobo. Oh, dang it. There's the chat reset. One sec. Gotta scroll back up. Christy Adamson. My shares for BBYQ were DRS from IBKR on the 11th of September. Received no letter of confirmation yet from unknown transfer agent. However, shares are gone from IBKR. Now, where do you think they are now? That's a good question. Like, a lot of the folks who DRS their shares have not heard back, and it's been more than a month. I would call IBKR and demand they answer you. Just, Christy, bring out your inner Karen and summon the righteous indignation of a woman who got onions when she asked for no onions. Make that person, if you can't answer my question, I want to talk to your supervisor. You get the supervisor on the line, be like, if you can't answer my question, I want to talk to your supervisor. And work your way all the way up to, the chief compliance officer and just see where the hell your shares are. Because they should be a transfer agent, and you want to know where they are. Pivian's here. Scott Pullen. Might buy a Halloween costume at GameStop this year. Headed to a fun scientist party near Boulder tomorrow. GameStop sells costumes? Part of my costume has not arrived, and I've had no information as if it's even shipped yet. So I may have to take a trip to the mall part of the county and look for pieces for my costume. So Monkey Butt's going on an adventure tomorrow, and we'll probably be stopping at Costco and eating hot dogs. Okay. ECB, should we sign up for T0 account? I mean, if it goes T0, it'll be easy to sign up for account. I don't think you need to do it now if you don't want to. Houston, will you be my +1 the PP party? Sure. December, whenever. Yeah, I mean, you're allowed +1. I'll go. I'll go huge unit. I'll be your small unit. Okay, December 14th. All right. Yeah, sure. Why not? I've not been to Miami since I was a wee child. So, there's pictures of me being held by my grandfather in the sand at Miami Beach, and I'm about this big. And that was the last time I was in Miami. So, why not? Why not? I probably still have enough Alaska Air miles I can get there just fine without having to spend a dime. Free trip. Hans R. Happy Friday. Here are some coordinates. Look by the bathhouse, Catherine Place, Garden, St. Petersburg, 196601. Okay. Catherine Palace Garden. Boom. Google Earth. Okay. Gotta go there. You, my friend. Bam. Shboom. Shbam, bang, bang. So where we are look by the lower bathhouses. Okay. Catherine Palace. Shaboink. Now, where will be the lower bathhouses? That, I don't know what a lower bathhouse looks like. Okay, that's the palace. All right. Churchy La Tarte. Standing stables. Monument to Rastrelli. Monument to Alexander Pushkin. Cameron Gallery. Fountain Vaza. What's a lower bathhouse look like? Anyone know? Anyone know? Anyone? There's mushroom gardens. So we got fancy gardens. Those look like bathhouses. Those look like pools. Is that a bathhouse? That's a pool. Oh, lower bath. Ah, there, lower bath. Boom. Okay. So there are some coordinates. Look by the lower bathhouses. Like that's lower bath. I'm looking. We got boobies. A whole bunch of boobies that we're looking at. Just booby, 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 booby. This one is the same shape, but there's no boobies in there. So we got some Grand Tetons, some Russian tatas that we're looking at. I mean, that's like Total Recall on steroids right there. Lower bath. Is that what I'm looking for? Is that what you're sending me to there, Hans? Oh, there we go. That's what we're looking at. Schlonger. Okay. There you go. Someone knew the satellite was going overhead that day. I'm glad that every culture on Earth draws dicks on things because it's funny. Good job, guys. Good job. All right. Jason Blackwell, Houston, where do users of ASL go for a good time? Def Comedy Jam. So, my buddy Justin Maurer. If you're in LA, you've probably seen Justin Maurer on TV doing sign language for meetings, teacher strikes, movies, Oscars. He's a punk rocker. He's like super punk, like old school punk rock. Been in lots of bands. He's in He was in Maurice's Little Bastards, Clorox Girls, a bunch of other bands. His mom is deaf, and so he grew up speaking sign language, and so he's making a documentary right now about punk rock in the deaf club in San Francisco. So in San Francisco, the punk rockers couldn't find anywhere to play. Nowhere. No bar would let them in because they're a bunch of sleazy punk rockers, the scum of the earth. They couldn't play any clubs. They couldn't play any concert halls. And they finally found a venue at the Deaf Club in San Francisco because deaf people do not care if you're playing punk music. They don't care at all. And so it became like the center for the punk movement in San Francisco. And like what ended up happening was all these people, these deaf people that would come meet the club. This is before the internet. Like if you wanted to talk to somebody who was deaf, you had to meet the club and then sign language with each other. And that's how you met your friends and you conversed and you got around. And so all these people would be at the deaf club having their deaf conversations. And then there'd be like a punk band going ape on stage with all these like young kids in mohawks and spike jackets and crap, just running into each other and smashing. And what the punks would do is they would go around and they would hand all the deaf people balloons. So they could sit there and they could feel the music in the balloon. And before long, all these deaf people, all different age groups and backgrounds, started like becoming punk rockers. They started like adopting like spike collars and colored their hair and just like going total punk rockers and show up all the shows and feel the vibrations in the balloon and just go ape. And so he's making a documentary that's going to be all about that. So if you were a deaf person in San Francisco, you wouldn't go to Def Comedy Jam. You go to Def Club to go feel punk music. So there you go. I don't know what's going to come out. Justin was part of the team that made the movie Coda. He was like at the Academy Awards and stuff doing the translations for all the actors who were deaf. And he's a cool dude. Justin's a good guy. If you're in LA and you happen to run into Justin Maurer, give him a high five, tell him he's a good dude. Avocados got thumbs of the world here. Trey Spider, hello, hello. Hey, Houston, whatever happened to William Morgan? Haven't seen him in the chat lately. I have not seen William in a while either. When's the last time William showed up? It's been a few weeks. I don't have... He used to write me all the time on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter anymore, so... I don't know. Hope he's doing well. The Body Shop, Houston. My daughter Cammie wants to know what's more powerful, the ocean or gravity? She was the one who asked how rocks were born last time. Okay. I mean, overall, gravity is more powerful because gravity tells the ocean what it's doing, which is stay right there. Without gravity, the ocean would just kind of become little ice bits and float throughout space and never come back. Either a large accident has to happen, or you have to make a conscious effort for gravity to harm you, right? You're on a ladder, you slip, you fall, bonk, gravity takes you out, you're done. You fall off a building, airplane loses power, gravity's going to do you in every single time. Fall off a cliff, fall down some stairs, gravity's got you. The ocean, on the other hand, is a little bit more unpredictable, right? Like, you can be out in the water, having a great time, and a rogue wave comes along and just snaps you in two. You won't have any say in the matter. It won't necessarily be a conscious effort on your part to be like, oh, I'm going to go die today on the ocean. But the ocean is terrifying, and I think dying from gravity is quicker and often a better way to go than dying from the ocean. That's a much more terrifying way to go. So, overall, gravity is more powerful, but I think ocean is scarier for what it can do to you. Because it's like having a giant building drop on you sometimes. It's powerful. But like the ocean is under the control of gravity, so technically gravity is more powerful. But just, pick your poison, I guess. It really comes down to there, Cammie. You want one to smash your bones because you fell off an airplane, or you want one to smash your bones because you're in the wrong spot on the beach? Get grated into like cheese on the cliffs or something. So, no me gusta, whichever horrible way. But like we can sort of control a bit. We can go skydiving. We can go parasailing and kind of defy gravity. Bungee jumping. We can play on a trampoline and like use gravity to have fun. In the ocean, we can go scuba diving, sailing, surfing, kiteboarding, boogie boarding, whatever. With those little skim boards in the surf. There's a lot of cool things we can do in both. It's just you gotta like know your limits and know where the risk is involved and play safe. Wear your helmet. Have your life jacket. Understand the power that you're playing with. Oh, everyone's angry because I was late. Jeff Christman, Mama BYQ shares been pulled. Is there any recourse? We are waiting for word from the company as to new equity being delivered. That's what we're waiting for. So, distributed. We have no guarantee new equity will be distributed, but that's the holdout for what we think is going to happen. They're going to distribute new equity to us, and there's going to be a floor price for that new equity, and it's going to cause explosions of glorious, like, flowers and colors and, I don't know, dildos and stuff. It's going to be a great time. That's what we're waiting for, Jeff. Kevin Malone, who's a money manager, his brokerage is telling him straight up that it's a merger and that they're holding the shares waiting for a distribution. We've got other brokerages that have let that slip, that the DTCC recalled them in lieu of a pending distribution of shares. I have the feeling that the brokerages or the DTCC or someone may have gotten paperwork for distribution, but they've not been given the go-ahead to make the distribution yet. That's my feeling on that. And that they know it's coming. They're just waiting for, like, okay, now release the Kraken. And then they release it all. Release the hounds. SJ, Houston saw some new data showing CMBS are defaulting en masse. Commercial mortgage-backed securities. Oh, brother. Commercial mortgage-backed securities are so doomed. Several days in a row now, I've seen articles in like financial papers about how REITs are just walking away from office buildings all over America. So I have no idea about the rest of the world, but you got buildings in Baltimore, Raleigh, North Carolina, Tampa, Miami, San Francisco, and then in these real estate investment trusts are just walking away. They're going, yeah, you take a bank, and the bank's like, please no, and they're like, we don't want it anymore. Yeah, foreclose on us, whatever, we don't care. So these bonds are worthless because the bonds are for more than what the building is worth. And if you try to do anything with the building, you're going to drop the price of all the other buildings that have bonds in them right now. Like you get a $400 million building that you don't want, you got to sell that $400 million building. Well, you're going to sell it for $100 million. And the building next door, which has a $500 million bond on it, all of a sudden is worth $150 million. So real estate trusts, I think, are just walking away. They're just cutting their losses, walking away from these things, knowing full well that the money they're saving on that bond, they can go into auction and buy that building up if they really want it. Like, it's like, imagine you buy a house. You spend $700,000 on this house, and then it's like 2008, right? The economy drops, just plummets entirely, and your house is now worth $300,000. And you go to your bank like, yeah, I'm not paying this. The bank forecloses on you, like, very bad of you not to pay your loan. And then they have an auction, and the house sells for $250,000. And you bought it, right? Like, why not? Why not be the high bidder on your own home and get it for a song? I think that's what all these real estate investment trusts are going to do, is that they're going to walk away from their mortgages. The banks are going to be stuck having to auction the stuff off, and they'll use their investor money to buy the building back at well below market prices. I think that's what a lot of them are planning to do. So, yeah, if you're invested in commercial mortgage-backed securities, they're done. They're collapsing, and that's going to be a massive trigger for a lot of these banks to go under. Ideas Matter 7707. Hey, Houston. Are we officially at war with Iran? Yesterday, Lloyd Austin announced that we could conduct strikes against Iranian positions in Syria. Does that mean we're at war? No, that just means proxy war still. Like, we're in Syria, they're in Syria. It's all proxy wars for people pulling the strings, right? That's, if we did a strike inside Iran, that would be a different story. But we're striking in Syria. So it's proxy war. I don't think Iran actually wants war with the United States. I think they want to rattle that saber, and they'll gladly do proxy fights. But they know that what comes to the United States is first a giant wave of a whole bunch of jets you cannot see. Your B-2s, your F-117s, your F-35s. They come in and they take out every piece of anti-aircraft positions you have in that country. And so you have no ability to shoot up. And then comes in 5,000 to 10,000 other jets who just turn your country into rubble. And you never, ever, ever have to set foot in Iran. You just destroy everything of import in the entire country and go, well, there you go. And then we just create a new generation of terrorists and have to do it all over again 30 years from now. So that's how it works. You don't want that. Just watch. I think I've pointed these guys to this before, but there's an incredible reenactment of the timeline of the first Gulf War air campaign, and it is one of the most fascinating things to watch. Like, if you are a general of another country and you watch this video, you will never, ever, ever want to piss off the United States to the point where they will drop bombs on you. It is holy moly. The amount of organization, and this is what dudes in the Pentagon spend all day and week planning. They're like, okay, if we're going to bomb this country, well, this group come here and this group go there and this carrier group and blah, blah, blah. We'll fly these guys from Missouri with the tankers and they'll bomb all this stuff and be back at home for dinner with their wife. And it is like choreographing the Nutcracker They just swoop in, do this, do that, and there's an unrelenting campaign of thousands of jets in formation just wiping the floor with whoever is below them. And there is not a military in the world who could really do anything about that. The Coast Guard. The Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard has like the 5th largest air force in the world. Our Air Force, our Navy, our Marines are like the 3 largest air forces in the world. And then you got, the Army with their helicopters and transport planes and whatever. And you got the Coast Guard. Like, China has like 2,000 planes. Russia claimed to have 3,000 or 4,000 planes. Like, our Army has like 10,000. So that's not even counting the Air Force and the Navy. It is ridiculous how many jets, planes, helicopters, bombers, I don't know, probably flying saucers and crap that we have. And a huge number of them you cannot see on radar. You have no idea they're flying overhead. Every nation in the world knows just how utterly dominant an air campaign from the United States is. And no one is dumb enough anymore to really, really, really think like, you know what? Allah's got my back. He's going to make sure the United States doesn't turn everything into an absolute parking lot. Because these generals and admirals at the Pentagon, just all they do all day long is they like, I got all these toys. I have trillions of dollars. Let's show the world why we don't have universal health care. Let's show the world why our school system sucks. Because of all these carrier groups and jets and bombers and missiles and everything else. It would be a giant, dumb mistake in Iran. Iran toes the line. There's like North Korea. They'll toe that line, but they're not going to go over that line because they know it means an utter annihilation. And they don't actually want annihilation. They just want attention, and they want like treaties, and they want money. And so we play that game with them. They toe the line. We go, oh, don't you do that. We have little proxy wars. And then eventually we come to some sort of agreement, and money gets exchanged, and then people get food and stuff. That's how it seems to work. But yeah, Iran would be so stupid to goad us into bombing them. Marcus Hoffman. Snake. Yeah, steak is good. What do you see? Everyone open your dictionaries. Let's follow along. Butterfly. Peachy Sunday. Seems like you're not a stakeholder because you never own the shares under your name unless they are direct registered. I mean, I don't think that's what they mean in the language of that document. Because you own the shares. They're just in street name and not in your name. Like, you have an agreement with your broker that those are your shares and you are the owner of record. So you are a stakeholder. Scott Pollen, reminder that Patrick Byrne is a creep and should not be admired. He is a weirdo. He is a definite weirdo. And currently he's in like the UAE because he's scared he's going to get arrested and charged in his participation in trying to overthrow the government on January 6th. So he's in a non-extradition country hiding out. I mean, he was right about Overstock getting attacked by shorts. He's just also kind of a weirdo. There's lots of people in this movement who are complete weirdos. So, there's no shortage of them. We all know that. I'm a weirdo. So, just not a weirdo who like overthrows the government on behalf of a losing politician. But yeah. Entered. Name anyone hear about Sears holding 915-day extension? Yeah. We'll be holding that Sears forever. Apparently, the team responsible for liquidating real estate is like, this is going to take a while. So they asked for extension, and the judge was like, works for me. So we got like almost 3 years of waiting. And perhaps something will happen with Sears after that. Hopefully something happens with Bed Bath & Beyond next couple of weeks. I don't give a shit what happens with Sears after that. It'll just be like, oh yeah, I forgot I had 1,200 Sears shares. Huh, that was a nice little birthday present to myself. Let's hope it goes that way. Gerardo Cruz is confident there's a crash coming. Bravo, Jamie Dimon's share selling starts in 2024. Hasn't started yet. Oh, so he's announced he hasn't sold them yet. So he's going to sell them for even less than the 140 million that he did. Daniel Holcomb can confirm life in the UK sucks right now. Yeah. You guys ever listen to Marketplace with Kai Risdall on NPR? He's been doing these updates with folks. He went over before Brexit, met all these like store owners and employees and stuff, and then he keeps in contact with them. So he went after Brexit, contacted them, and he went like a year after Brexit was finished and gone through and talked to him again. And then he has them come on the show and talk about things via phone call and stuff. But one of the amazing things was he would talk to these people and he'd be like, "Hey, are you for or against Brexit?" Like, I'm for Brexit. I want things in UK to be the UK. It's like, okay. So what's your business? Like, oh, I'm a florist. Like, okay, where do your flowers come from? Holland. Okay. So you're a florist, your flowers come from Holland. If Brexit happens, you won't be able to get flowers from Holland. Or if you do, they'll come too late and they'll be all dead. And like, oh, I'm not too worried about that. We'll figure out a way to get around that. He's like, are you sure they're going to figure out a way to get around that? Oh, yes. They told me they're going to figure out a way to get around that. I'm like, isn't the way to get around that just being a member of the EU? And you can get those flowers like same day? Oh, no. We need to cut our ties with the EU. And then Brexit happens. I'm like, are you happy? He's like, yes, I'm pretty happy. You know, when Brexit happened, we're good. He's like, are you still sure you're confident you're going to get your flowers? Oh, yes, very confident we'll get my flowers. And then after Brexit, like, happens, they go back and like, how are things going? Oh my God, my life is in shambles. I can't get flowers from Holland. I no longer have a business. I cannot be a florist in the UK anymore because flowers do not exist here. He's like, okay. So 2 years ago, we talked about how this was an outcome, and you were like, nah, not going to happen. And now that it is an outcome, are you for or against Brexit? And they're like, well, I wish we could go back. This is awful. He's like, oh my God. You know, you get the guys who also depended upon like a bunch of Polish people would come and like drive trucks and stuff. And like, okay, you have a trucking company, you have lorries that go up and down all over UK delivering things. Are you for or against Brexit? Oh, I'm definitely for Brexit. Like, your entire business relies upon imports from Europe, and all these Polish truck drivers come into Europe and drive the trucks around. Yes, I know. Well, what happens when they've got to go back to Poland and they can't work in the UK anymore? Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And then Brexit hits, and they're like, my business is failing. I don't have any truck drivers. I can't move any product. Stuff is taking too long across the border. We get trailers dropped onto ships that come across without a truck. We have no trucks to take them anywhere because all the EU drivers can't drive here anymore. It's just like oh my gosh. They told you what was going to happen. You didn't believe it was going to happen, then it happened, then you're outraged. Just like the people in Florida, right? The farmers in Florida. I'm going to vote for this anti-immigrant guy, and I'm going to elect him. And then anti-immigrant guy gets elected as anti-immigrant stuff, and all of a sudden all your farm workers vanish, and your crops rot in the fields, and you lose a bunch of money. And you're like, how dare you actually follow through on your promises that you made? Oh my gosh. People, vote your interests. If the guy says he's going to get rid of your Social Security, and you rely on Social Security to survive, don't vote for the guy who's going to get rid of your Social Security. Because what they're going to do is they're going to get rid of your Social Security, right? If someone says, hey, my entire intention is to make it so that women can never have an abortion again, and you are a woman who has had abortions or will in the future, and you vote for that guy, and then all of a sudden you can't have abortions anymore because of that guy, don't be upset that he did what he promised. That's their job. So I'm going to do these things, and then they do those things, and you go, I didn't know you were actually going to do it. People, just anyway. Gira BMO was a big player in car loans, and they recently stopped that service. Yeah, man. Yeah. Meow Meow Saying Brexit was bad is like saying 1,000 years of inbreeding might lead the whole country to be frumpy with bad teeth. Ridiculous, Houston. No comment on that one. UK people are like, how dare you? How dare you? Edward Houston, is there a legit deadline that BBYQ has to be wrapped up by? Thanks. There may be. There's still a lot of redacted documents that we have no idea what's in them. I don't want to say redacted. I want to say like held back documents, protected documents. Because then I want to see like lines of redaction and stuff. But we're seeing is documents that are filed, but they're not publicly viewable. My guess is that when they file those with the clerk or the judge, they say, we're going to hold off on this one. The judge goes, all right. And they just don't stick it in the docket. But I think we're getting closer. Like scary close. Like if stuff gets filed tonight, I wouldn't be surprised. If it gets filed Monday, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think before Thanksgiving for sure. And hopefully by next week. Man, just here we sit, twiddling those thumbs, man, hoping, wanting, shaking fists. Yeah, it's coming. Brandon Chandler, is Carl Icahn investment with a $1 quarter dividend a good idea to invest in? Well, the price is what, 18, 20 bucks? What's IEP at right now? Come on. IEP stock 1710, and it's doing some crazy jumping. Look at it. Oops, that's a dick. Let's get away from the dick. Bam, there we go. Okay, so it's some after hours craziness happening. Closed at 1710, bounced 1733 after hours, and it's kind of doing up and downs. The last few months, it's gone for 50 bucks. This is when the short attack came out. Like, oh, Carl Icahn's a fraud. And it dropped. And they're still doing $2 a share here. And it bottomed all the way out at 20 bucks. We're like, oh, okay, it's going to rebound. Then it rebounded. And this is where Carl Icahn announced that they're going to be dropping the dividend from $2 a quarter to $1 a quarter. And everyone's like, oh, fuck that. And the price dropped down below 20 bucks. And that's where it was sitting on a steady decline. The thing is that Icahn has announced that he's doing a $500 million stock buyback. Now, he owns like 83% of the entire company. So my feeling is that Icahn is going to tie up every single solitary outstanding share with that $500 million and maybe some more, and then do a full recall and force a squeeze on his own stock. So he's giving up that $1 a share to have that capital to do the buyback and to fuck with everyone. So if we play the calculator game, let's play the calculator game and talk about what we can and cannot see. I opened the calculator first because the computer restarted. Calculator. Boom. Okay, calculator's up. Turn off the Chrome. Bam, there's calculator. Okay. Let's say you buy 1 million shares. Now, we don't have money to buy 1 million shares. That's $17 million to buy 1 million shares, right? So you buy 1 million shares. It costs $17 million and 10 cents to buy that million. Boom, 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 boom. Million shares. You get $1 million that first quarter, right? And you reinvest it into your total. So for 1 million shares, how many shares can you get? Divided by 1710. You can get another 58,000 shares. Okay. Add that to your million. Boom. It's 1 million, blah, 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 blah. This is how much you're going to get the second quarter, right? So we can divide that by our 1710. This is assuming the price doesn't change. Okay. Boom. You add that to that thing, and now we want to add it to add it to this guy. Yeah, add it to that guy. So how do I do this? I can take that guy and I copy that. We're going to go plus Control V. Boom. All right. Equals. Yeah, now we got 1.1 million shares. Now we're getting 1,120,000 buckaroos per quarter. How many more shares can we add? 1710. Oops. 0.10 equals. Now we're getting 65,000 new shares a quarter. And we can add that to. Where's my. Oh, crap. Lost my answer. Oh, it's 120. This one here. Add to this guy. All right. Copy. Add. Boom. Equals. Now we're 1.185 million shares. So we're three quarters in. This will be our fourth quarter here. We're going to get 1.185 million dollars for that. We put it into shares again. So divide by 1710. 0.10. Boom. Get another 69,000. We can add that to this guy. Wink. Copy. Add. Control V. Boom. So now at 1.255 million shares after 1 year. That is a 25.5 and change growth in a year. So 1 year of investment, you can get about 25.5% return on your IEP. And there's a good chance that the stock price may fly after this, so you may have even bigger return on your investment if he does a buyback and forces a squeeze and stuff. So if you can get 25.5% returns on things, that's a pretty good living. That's good. And and maybe get a quarter in and they announce they did a buyback and they own all the shares. And so it's going to force a short squeeze on everybody because they do some sort of recall and the stock price goes to $1 gajillion a share. Well, okay, sell out, buy back in again when it drops and get your 25%. So, the calculator game is a fun game. There we go. So, yeah, turn 1 million shares into 1.255 million shares and you're getting, at least $4+ million a year to live off of or to reinvest. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Okay. Louis, JPM is fucked. As Jamie D is selling that many shares, he pulls a huge salary on top of that. He does. He is a gajillionaire on top of that. Yeah. Might leave a bank or two, says Walk DC. Treetop. Danny Holcomb, you have the same first name as my brother. We are Holcomb. We dropped the E from our last name after moving to the U.S. Maybe we are distant relatives from a long time ago. So Treetop's a Holcomb. Holcomb. Holcomb's everywhere. Guts for the long term. Thumbs up, thumbs up. What DC, even Jordan Peterson said a few insightful things, broken clocks. And Jordan Peterson also cries the drop of a hat. And that is a broken man. That is a man who is severely broken and somehow trying to impart advice onto people at this point forward. Treetop, building material prices need to come down a bit. Yeah, construction is insane. So my best friends, they applied in King County, where Seattle is, up in the mountains, to build their home. And they submitted their documents in like February 2020. This is our designs. This is what everything's going to do. We're going to tear down this old house, put this new one in. And the estimation for the construction cost then was about $400,000. COVID hit. It got really hard for them to approve any plans, and it took forever. And in that time, 2x4 became like $100. Construction costs would have been like absolutely insane. They finally got approved this summer, 3.5 years later, for their building. And now their $400,000 house is going to cost $1 million to build. Oh well. They own another house they bought when the economy crashed for like $250,000 and now worth $1 million. So they're just going to sell that house and use that to pay for the construction of the new house. So what they did was they got a gigantic home equity loan. They got like an $800,000 home equity loan. And that's what they're using to like initially pay for the construction. And then they'll just sell the house, pay off the home equity loan, finish the rest of it, and do that. But yeah, construction costs need to come down a lot. Louis, Austrian School of Economics, libertarian idiocy. Yeah, it's probably a blunt way of putting it. It is definitely like a a failure to recognize other people helped you get where you are, right? Like people who adhere to libertarianism have really no clue about how much they've benefited from others throughout their lives, right? You guys know what I mean about that? Like, I worked with a guy when I was teaching at the Art Institute. One of the other math guys was a Mises lover. Like he would make the password for the class, app Mises all the time, and he would like always preach Austrian school to these art kids who had no idea what was going on. He was so bad at everything in his life. I don't know how to put it. Like he came to school like dressed head to toe in University of Oregon stuff. University of Oregon like running jackets and shorts and so I'm talking with him like, hey, you go to University of Oregon? He's like, no. Oh. He's like, I just really like their track team and I'm a runner. Oh, okay. So you didn't run for Oregon, you're just a fan of theirs. Like, yes. Cool. How long have you been running? He's like, a couple months. Okay. Like I'm into marathons. How many marathons have you done? None. Oh. Are you training for one? I'm training for one now. Like how far is your biggest run? He's like, about 6 miles. Like, okay, so you're making your entire identity University of Oregon track in marathoning, and you've never actually done one, nor are you even close. Interesting. But like the dude was like as libertarian as it gets and is against government help of any kind. And then you find out like, oh, his family lived off of welfare and unemployment, and they lived in like housing that the government paid for. And, like, like this, the government Pell Grants paid for his college and his education. And he went on like a government scholarship to grad school. And like, but no, I did it all myself. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't do it all yourself. Your entire life, you were being supported by your community and society to be where you are today. Without it, you'd be like a toothless homeless guy because you would not have had a home when you were like 12 years old. I encounter people like this all the time. And like, they got really mad at Obama because Obama had some sort of speech where he was like, you didn't do it on your own. You didn't just do it. Like, society helped you do it. The fact that we've got schools and ports and police and fire departments and weather satellites and financial regulators and banking regulations and like those things are why you are where you are today. If we went by you pay for it yourself and why have the public pay for roads, then what you end up with is Somalia, where you have warlords run everything because might is right in that situation, and there's no cohesive power of society to make sure that like the greater good is a focus of anything. You end up with potholed roads, checkpoints with guys with AK-47s and warlords, mitigating who gets what, when, where, how, and why. You end up with, what was that town in New Hampshire? You guys ever read about that? New Hampshire town libertarians bears. Yes. Okay. So, oops, I need you. Okay. So these libertarians got on the internet and they said, hey, we're all going to take over this one town in New Hampshire and make it a utopian paradise for us libertarians. And what ended up happening was they canceled all public services like trash pickup and stuff. And the town got overrun with bears because everyone's yards became full of trash and the bears took over the town. And New Hampshire had gone like 200 years without a bear attack. In this town, people were getting their ass kicked by bears like daily. So it became a paradise for black bears and an absolute nightmare for libertarians who were living there. It is a hilarious read. A book came out about it, but this is just an article on it. I recommend, here, I'm going to pop it into the chat because it is such a funny read. How overconfident these dudes were about like, I can make it on my own. I don't need help from anyone. And then discovering what obliterating every public service there was in town did to absolutely destroy their quality of life and make it so that whenever they left their porch, a bear was there to like kick the shit out of them. It's a good read. We have sanitation and public works for a reason, because we discovered dumping your turds out on the street wasn't a solution. It created more problems than like, what am I going to do with my waste? Dump it out the window. We created sewage systems. We created trash pickup. We created facilities where we could dump waste, because these are integral to having a quality of life beyond getting like medieval diseases that are largely preventable with sanitation. Employees must wash hands. Screw that. I'm a libertarian, do whatever I want. And then like they give hepatitis to like all their clientele, and then the business goes out of business. We are members of society. Again, this goes back to like the mission statement for the show from episode, not even episode 1, but like the pre-episode. There's like a 5-minute sort of mission statement I made, audio mission statement I made for the show that is like, ask the question, did we create society to try and make everyone's lives better, or did we create society to maximize profit and drive revenue, right? If your goal is to only for society to maximize profit and drive revenue, then you're going to leave 99% of the people in the dust, and their lives are going to suck. But if you create society to make everyone's lives better, you will have some winners, you will have some losers, but most people are going to live comfortable, high-value lives, contribute to society, and not be a burden, right? And that's what I believe in. That's what I believe in. Yeah, I want my nut. Cool. But I have to recognize that there's a system in place that allows me to get my nut. And I'm a part of that system, and so are all of you. So here we are. Yeah, as I chased away like 30 viewers with that spiel there. Okay. Monkey Butt wants her bed back. She did. She got it back, but then the cat cuddled her too hard. She jumped back down again. Okay. Trey Spider PP show tonight. I've not been invited to the PP show. If I were to come on the PP show, it would be late again like last time. So I don't know. Maybe they want me to come join in here. Mark Sloan, Houston. My thumbs are very tired. We're getting paid soon. Crossing my fingers. CX on that Salvador and Jake 2B are going to be doing space call at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you got your fingers crossed. How do you? There we go. Fingers crossed, twiddling the thumbs. That's how I have to do it. I will be at work at 6 p.m., so I will not be able to get their space call. So someone give me the rundown what their space call is all about, and that'd be cool. Copy and paste. Nobody's enforcing the rule. There's William Morgan. He's here. He's just lurking. Nobody's enforcing the rules. There's William Morgan for us. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Okay. Okay, people talking Anchorman, talking costumes for mustaches. Jeff Crispin. Oh crap! There's a reset. Gotta scroll up. Where did reset happen? There, Jeff Crispin. I just got 4 Blue Sky invite codes. Would you like them for the next charity auction? Yes. Send your Blue Sky codes to me. I'm collecting them. I'm at like 20 something codes right now. I think I had 28 last time, so hopefully we'll have more than 28 this time around to raffle away. Charity Tuesday, man, if news comes out on Charity Tuesday, that's exciting. Ooh, baby. I want us to crush all sorts of records for Charity Tuesday. And then when we get paid, maybe November's Charity Tuesday will be absolutely insane after that. Man. Let's do good. Let's do good works. That's all I want. Javier Martinez is here. Javier, I don't know if you heard last show. The hat you bought from the store is finally on its way. I didn't see that anyone had ordered it, and they didn't trigger automatic, like, let's make this hat and send it to him. It's on its way finally. I'm sorry that it took so long. William Romero bought a bunch of No Labs. Nice cheap price for that too. I want this thing to go ka-ching, and I can buy a boatload of No Lab, and that can be my like future billionaire status if I don't get billionaire status off this. Slobo knee, only the young. Come on, guys, $2 for Houston. You can send super chats if you want. I appreciate them. Trey Spider, I'm so ready for one of these plays to pay off already. I know. I have a feeling that if this explodes the way I think it's going to explode, it's going to pay off like so many of these plays. It's going to be like rocket time. Just pew, pew, pew. Like the San Diego 4th of July fireworks show where they lit off half an hour's worth of fireworks all at once. That's what I think might happen. Okay. Richard K. Hi, Houston. How are you feeling about MMTLP's resolution prospects now that we have Congress attention? Possible answer by Christmas? Yeah. So apparently a whole bunch of members of Congress now who are outside of like that core group that's been asking questions of Gary Gensler. We got a bunch of them now, like in on calls, in on hearings. A lot of hearings happened behind closed doors. We have no idea what went on with those a few weeks ago. But I do think that members of Congress are seeing a couple things out of this. One, that they have a whole bunch of their constituents who are pissed off and they're loud and they're annoying the shit out of them. So like we have to do something because people won't stop calling. So that's one incentive. Number two, it's opening their eyes to the overall fraud that's happening in the markets of naked short selling. And so we're seeing like the rules get passed where by the SEC, they're going to come, it's going to be a few months till they're finally finalized and in place, but where you're going to have to report your short position to the government. Like, yes, I'm short on these shares, this many at this price, and this is my position. Just like you have to report your long position for things. You have to report your short position now. Which is going to open everyone's eyes to how much shorting is going on. The third thing is that we are starting to see the SEC, I mean, these are pissy little fines, but they're doing huge numbers of suits and fines against market makers regarding, violations of client privacy, front-running orders and things like that, and violations of Reg Show with regards to naked short selling. So Virtue Capital's getting their ass kicked really hard. There's a slight slap of the wrist happening with Citadel for pre-2021 short selling. Those happening, right? It's like a $6 million fine. They don't really give a shit. But it's starting to come to light, and we're starting to see time and again what's happened. Now, the amount of short selling that Citadel did pre-2021 is probably nothing compared to what they did post-2021. So, our entire market is precarious on the bad actions of these groups. They're allowed to slip through with either lax oversight or skirting with loopholes. And I think Congress is recognizing like, oh shit, we have to hold their feet to the fire and make sure we close these loopholes at some point because this isn't sustainable. Like this will create a collapse bigger than anything we know. And so like you MMTLP folks who've been holding their feet to the fire, good job. You've made a lot of progress. It's taken a year to get this progress through, but they now like Secretary Gensler, can you tell me about the blue sheets for MMTLP? Like they're asking these questions over and over like the little robots because they want to get their answer so they can finally like punch someone in the face and get something done, and they can like parade that in front of their constituents. So get everyone you possibly can. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle. This is something that affects all their constituents all the time, and it should not matter if you're Republican or Democrat on this one. This is as bipartisan as any issue could possibly be in government. Is hey, these financial douchebags are fucking everyone over, and the only people you will have go, oh, I don't care, are the ones who are so heavily paid by the financial douchebags that you can't reason with anyway. But that's like half. And it's like some Democrats and some Republicans are on that side. And the other half, some Democrats and some Republicans are not beholden to a bunch of financial douchebags. And they want more than anything to eliminate the ability of members of Congress to trade stocks, them and their families. They want to, close all sorts of loopholes and force, concise, coherent regulation of the markets for these bad actors who can put our entire economy in jeopardy with their actions. So, it's definitely a bipartisan thing. And like, by all means, kick to the curb anyone who wants members of Congress to keep trading. No, get out of here. do your best to like kick any of those people to the curb. So yeah. But will we get an answer by Christmas? I have no idea. I know we need an answer before December next year, because they are only required to hold on to that blue sheet data for 2 years. After that, they can just shred it and be like, I don't have it anymore. So there's going to have to be some subpoenas or something to force them to reveal that data, because they can reveal that data at any moment, and they just haven't because they're just pussyfooting around and trying to stall for another year. And it's going to be important that these members of Congress use subpoena power to ensure that they have to reveal that data. And then if not, hold someone in contempt. Hold Gary Gensler in contempt. I don't care. Hold the head of FINRA in contempt. Who gives a shit? Stick their little asses in that little jail below Congress and let them sit there and think about what they've done. I'm okay with that. Kitty, are you coughing again? You're right, buddy. You're okay. Oh, little asthma cat. Little asthma cat herking his guts up. Marcus Hoffman, that's a dong if I ever saw one. Snow dong. Whisker Biscuit. I keep missing the live streams while you're recording. I just need to applaud you for the Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis analogy off the top of your head. Oh, thank you. Me, Titan Cameraman. I'm YouTuber. Cool. Scruff McGruffington 88. As a Jew, what are your thoughts on the invasion of like Gaza? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Here's how I see things. I see, this video footage of Netanyahu as far back as 2001 being like, hey, what we need more than anything is an excuse to carpet bomb Gaza out of existence. And now he has his reason to finally do that. You go to like 2007 and you basically have an agreement between Hamas and Likud, Netanyahu's party, saying, hey, let's get rid of all the moderates who want peace, right? Because peace isn't either of interest. Like Israel wants all of the land and Hamas wants to murder all of Israel. So they actually found a common ground in that, hey, we need to get rid of Fatah and the PLO because they want a two-state solution and peace. So we're going to allow you to murder all of them. Go for it, Hamas. And that's how Hamas did. They just wiped out all of their opposition, especially in Gaza. They want a two-state solution, want a peace. And that causes all sorts of chaos because Hamas keeps attacking Israel from that point forward, along with Hezbollah. And whenever Israel gets attacked, people go to the Hawks. They go to Likud and they go, oh, Likud, save us from this. And Likud's like, very well, I will save you from this by being a hawk and blowing up buildings and stuff in Gaza. And that's been their go-to. Whenever Netanyahu is about to face repercussions for being a shitbag, because he's a complete corrupt asshole, or trying to face criminal sentencing, whatever. Like whenever he's about to face the music, somehow giant terrorist attacks happen every single time. It's almost as if like he flips a switch, pushes a button, and allows Hamas to do something. So that everyone goes, oh my God. And then all the conversation about Netanyahu's corruption goes out the window. He just wags the dog that way. I think he bit off more than he can chew on this one. I think he and his administration had knowledge that Hamas was planning an attack, but I don't think they realized how big and devastating it was going to be. And I think he thought, oh, it'll be like a little attack, and then we'll be like, oh, we'll go bomb Gaza, and then everyone will love me again. But this one was huge, and the failure of response by the IDF in time plays over and over again in the heads of the victims who survived. Like no one came. 12 hours went by and there was no response from the military, nothing. Like no one was answering our calls. And we had individual family members who had to like go with their personal weapons and fight off the 2,000 Hamas fighters who invaded. Like this was a complete failure, either negligence on the government's part, or they want it to happen to have an excuse to go blow up a bunch of buildings in Gaza and distract everything. Either way, if you have a negligent government that sucks at what they're doing, you don't want them in power. If you got one that purposely let it happen, you don't want them in power. This was horrible. And Netanyahu, I personally believe Netanyahu wants genocide of the Palestinian people. And like, can't we all just get along, man? Like, Why did you get rid of the moderate voices and allow the most extreme of voices to become the dominant players in this place, unless what you wanted was a conflict? Like, that's how you create conflict. Is you kill all the good people and you allow the evil people to take over, and you're like, well, see, you can't reason with them, and that seemed to be what they wanted all along. But no, I don't like the idea of the conflict. I mean, I was reading about how ambulance drivers are calling reporters in Gaza, asking them if they know what roads aren't being bombed right now so they can go rescue people. And the internet's out and all communications are out, and the reporters don't know because they have no information. They don't have any access to the internet, so they can't even tell the ambulance drivers where it's safe. So it's going to be brutal. And, you know, Hamas is definitely using human shields because they're a bunch of shitbags, no doubt about it. But those human shields in Gaza, like the average age in Gaza is 17. More than half of the population is under 18 years old. They're children. Yeah, there's adults and things there, but half the population is kids. Bombing swaths of children is not the best way to achieve goals. That's just not how it works. And like, I don't know a solution. I don't know a solution other than just making the whole of that section of the Middle East Disneyland and have like Walt Disney run everything and have everyone be pissed off at Walt Disney. So I don't know what a solution is, but I don't think the solution is bombing a whole bunch of kids for what a bunch of shitty adults that you allowed to exist because you had an agreement with them to cause problems is going to do, other than create probably more shitty adults later who are completely traumatized and wanting revenge. And I mean, the trauma of 1948, you know, removing 1.3 million people from their homes and killing them and raping them and destroying their homes and then moving others into their homes and kicking them into the other nations, that has created the last 70 years, 80 years of horror that we're seeing. That generational trauma lasts, and you're pissed off. I mean, how long did it take for native tribes here in America to stop attacking settlers? Like they did for hundreds of years. The settlers, their tactical benefit was that they were immune to a whole bunch of diseases the natives were not, and that right there wiped out 90% of the population. So, you know, take the cold and flu and smallpox and you guys will all die and we'll just take over your lands. But it's the memory still exists. There's still people who are alive today who were kicked out of their homes in 1948 under horrible circumstances. There's a documentary, 1948 Creation and Catastrophe. Okay, where are you? It's for free on YouTube. Made a few years ago. Where are you? Come on. I know you're here somewhere. If I go to videos, there it is. Okay. Nope, don't play music. Okay. This is a pretty good historical telling of how 1948 went down, and I put in the chat there. You can see the YouTube channel here. This is 1948 Creation and Catastrophe. We got, you know, people who were refugees, people who were the soldiers. We've got scholars and politicians and people who are sort of doing oral history with factual documentation about what it was. And 1948, prior to 1948, you had these Zionists who were doing car bombings. Like literally, they were doing car bombings. They were blowing up buildings full of government officials. They were doing terrorist acts until they had enough people where they could, you know, with the UN saying, yeah, carve out Palestine. And then it just became a bloodbath. It was absolutely terrifying, the war that happened. And it was not helped by the fact that once Israel's carved out, then all these nations in the Middle East were like, you know what, the Jews that are in Saudi Arabia, the Jews that are in Iran, the Jews that are in Egypt, get the fuck out of here. And they kicked them all out and sent them to Israel, which displaced even more people. So this is, it's just all been a calamity ever since. And I'm sure I'll die at 100 years old and it'll still be a calamity then. Anyway, Julio, Miami, Houston, how about a Tether update? You're just baiting, aren't you? Julio sent me a thing earlier that was from some guy who was like, Tether is like the largest purchaser of U.S. treasuries. So obviously going after Tether is being anti-American. Like, bullshit. Tether stole your money, dude. They aren't buying crap with your money. They stole $80 billion from you. It is gone. Never to be seen again. Tether's a crime. Tether is a giant ongoing crime, and how and why it's lasted this long without someone cracking down bewilders me. I mean, we've got concrete data that Tether would mint like $1 billion without having $1 billion to back it, and then would just give it to like FTX or to Binance, and they would use that to buy $1 billion in Bitcoin, causing the price of Bitcoin to go up. So the fact that we're seeing Bitcoin go to like $34,000 right now tells me that Tether probably minted a whole bunch and people are buying it with that, causing a little squeeze on the price with nothing. Like, oh, it's worth $1. Okay, it's worth $1. Then everybody sell all your coins, get a Tether, and then try to redeem your Tether for cash. Just try it. Just try all $85 billion worth of you who have used Tether to buy Bitcoin. Try to reclaim your cash and see if you can get your cash back from it. Just let me know. Let me know if you can do that. Yeah. It's a crime. Okay. Leader Landscape Incorporated, he didn't mention the second level air superiority called Space Force. The literal only threat they have is nuclear. Yeah, I mean, we have eyes in the sky constantly. We monitor everyone's communications. We've got insane abilities to monitor communications and crack codes that we just don't tell people about because we don't want them to know we have the capabilities to do that. There was a neat little show. Oh, what was it called? It's on Netflix. Only one season, and I wish they had more because it was kind of fascinating about the joint program in Australia and the US for monitoring communications. What was it called? Oh my gosh, I have to go to Google Earth to look at it. Schlong. Gotta leave the Schlong. Sorry, Schlong. We're leaving you. We're heading out, and we're gonna go south, and we're gonna go to Australia because I cannot remember the name of that town. It's out here in the outback. It's out here. Town Virgin area, Pearlman. Oh crap! What's the name of that place? Alice Springs. There we go. Alice Springs. This is where we are. This is the Alice Springs Airport. I can't remember which side of town it's on. Something Ridge. Cassia Hill. Income, Alice Springs, Udala, Tin Can Hill, Jesse Gap, Kangaroo Airport, Conlin, blah, 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 Hugh. It's where, like, was it the Carnivore program or whatever? Like gobbles up data everywhere. We've got, like, one in the UK, one in North America, one down here in Alice Springs, Tin Can Hill. Oh, what's the name of that thing? What's the name of that stupid show? Anyone can remember it. Show Australia, US program listening. Pine Gap. There we go. Fuck, I can remember that. Pine Gap. So Pine Gap is this place in Australia. Somewhere around here. Pine Gap. Ah, a little bit to the... There we go. There's Pine Gap. So in here, this is a gigantic listening system, monitoring communications for like a huge chunk of the hemisphere in Australia. It's a joint US-Australia program. We got all sorts of radar antennas and satellite linkages. And if someone is having a radio conversation, like let's say Rohingya rebels in Myanmar, like they're picking up on it and they've got translators knowing exactly what's going to happen. If they've got, some sort of separatist group in rural Pakistan wanting to do some sort of fatwa, I don't know. And we've got somebody here probably listening to it in Australia. Super duper duper like crazy top secret place, but they've got incredible abilities there. So anyway, where was I going with that? I can't remember. Oh, air superiority. Yeah, that is definitely part of like our satellite programs and whatnot. Jiga Shukla, Houston. Thoughts on OpenAI valuing itself at $86 billion? I'm sure it will be valued for more than that at some point because people are using it for everything. There are incredible problems with AI, and let's see if we can find one. Okay, this is problems with AI, right? Whoops, wrong button. Right here. So, wait, try Google Earth. That's one. Okay, so I just typed into Google countries in Africa that start with K. This is the Emergent Mind. This is an AI program. While there are 54 recognized countries in Africa, none of them begin with the letter K. The closest is Kenya, which starts with a K sound, but is actually spelled with a K sound. It's always interesting to learn new trivia facts like this. This is AI garbage. This is what's going to dominate Google searches and make Google absolutely fucking worthless. Because AI makes crap up, and we don't know how to keep it from making crap up. It makes crap up constantly. You know, if you ask AI like Midjourney, like, hey, I want you to make an image of Super Mario Brothers playing Halo, right? It'll generate this thing playing Halo. Then you can ask, like, hey, did Super Mario Brothers ever play Halo? Well, it's going to make it up just like it did your picture, right? It'll be like, they'll make this whole tale about like, oh yeah, Super Mario Brothers were in the Halo universe for years. These are the drawbacks we have with current iterations of AI, is that oftentimes their search parameters get confused with their let's make shit up parameters. Because you can make a story anytime you want. And it does not know when it should make a story and when it should give you proper search results. So oftentimes it gives you search results that look real that are not. And information that is completely wrong. So yes, AI can be used for a lot of stuff, but we are going to have so many glitches and problems that result from it. We might have AI run county assessor programs and then value weird homes at $1 gajillion rather than where they should be, or skip over homes entirely and then people get in for tax foreclosure because they never got a tax bill because the AI just doesn't know how to do the job properly. We're going to get crap like this for quite some time, but people are totally interested in how AI works and they will gladly turn off their brains and let a computer do their job for them. And so OpenAI is going to be worth a lot because people are going to do a ton of stuff with that stuff. But just trying to figure out how to separate the make shit up from the be a useful fact-finding machine, that black box that all that coding is in, no one knows what's going on when you ask them questions like this. It's weird. It's very weird. Mr. Lazuna. The Dover crossing becomes a car park during the school holidays because of Brexit. Every passport has to be checked now rather than just wave through 4 to 5 times longer per person. Oh, trying to catch the ferry. Yeah. I can imagine. They just can't just drive on anymore like you used to. It's like, it just slows everything down. Oh my gosh. Scruffy McGruffington 88 pro Democratic pro Hamas. Fuck you, Scruffy McGruffington. Jesus Christ. KYP Hasten. I'm with you. I need a good steak dinner, and I'm mainly vegan now. Sonny, what do you say about those who are able to close short position on BBYQ? Prove it. Prove it with a document that doesn't get proven to be complete fabrication. Phil, the nice short seller, claims he was able to get a courtesy close on his Schwab account for the 70,000 shares that he shorted at like 22 cents. People say, prove it, Phil. And for weeks he's like, oh, it hasn't gone through yet. And I keep calling and it hasn't gone through. And then the other day he claims it went through, posted a screenshot. People took that screenshot, ran it through Photoshop, and discovered that it was completely made up, that he fabricated the whole thing. So, and Phil also shorted MMTLP. Interesting that this retail trader is just so happened to be shorting these huge retail squeeze plays. Weird how that happens, right? Like, weird. I think Phil's a liar. If if the shorts had been able to close, it would be all over Wall Street Bets as gain porn, right? It'd be all over the Meltdowners pages, right? It'd be like, hey, I just made $1 billion off these idiots. They do not have gain porn. They've got photoshopped image screenshots. They Photoshop to make it look like they have gain porn. But then you discover like, oh, the font size is too large and taking over there's too many pixels and is in the wrong color and blah, blah, blah. So you are not seeing gain porn anywhere with shorting that has happened because no one's been able to close because you can't close when equity is on the way. Mr. Lasuna, GME and BBYQ feel as though the only way I can escape life of being a wage slave, social contract of hard work leads to nice house, nice life, etc. is fuck nowadays. It is, isn't it, Monkey? It is absolutely effed in the A. Oh crap, it's 4:22. We should probably give you some chicken. Let's give some chicken here. Ugh. Woohoo! It's still stinky as ever. Oh my goodness. We'll do 2 of these guys. They're pretty meaty. Oh, that is the most chicken smell I've ever smelled in my entire life. And it is hits you like a wall, I'll tell you that much. You ready for it, Monkey? You want to come up and get it? Yeah, you want to get it? You can do it. Come on. Oh, there you go. Yes, she got it. She got it. Into the jaws cam we go. Okay. We got the happiest dog ever, right? Oh, such good chicken. Such good chicken. Okay. Oh crap, I just lost my spot again. Just reset. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? MT Army has more seacraft than the Navy and more aircraft than the Air Force. At least that's my recruiter told me 20 years ago. The Army's huge. And like we have 4-ish, almost 5 branches of the Coast Guard, whatever over here. But we don't have Social Security. We don't have like guaranteed Social Security that can last. We don't have medical care for everybody. We don't have amazing schools. Got kind of shit roads everywhere. Largely because we spend so much money on ways to blow things up. We know how to blow everything up on Earth several times over, and we've got the best blowing stuff up stuff that exists. Everybody wants more. Right, Monkey? Just like you want that really sneaky chicken. Everybody wants more stuff that can blow things up. So you don't want to be the small country to prove why we don't have universal health care. You don't want that to be you. Limit 22, Houston. You know better to multiply that by 1.xx and xx is percentage. Lol. You be doing it like they've taken high level math, and I know you have, brah. Limit 22. I have to do math in a way that shows people who haven't taken math how math works. I taught in art school for a long time, right? Like, if I have to whip out a compounding interest equation for folks and go through that, their brain's not going to know what they just saw. So you do it step by step and show like, hey, take this money, you add it to this, and then you work from there. And that's the underlying math. We can do a compound interest problem if you want to do that, or like, you know, take things to limits or whatever. But yeah. Phil, what's Blue Sky? Blue Sky is a Twitter alternative that I have jumped ship to. That's where I am. It's Liddy, still pumped for Honeypot Holdings. Coco, are you married? I am not married, Coco. Single as a Pringle. Fred Jones, Houston, joined late celebrating birthday. Are we rich yet? Not yet. The drip of information. Hopefully soon. Treetop, Houston, what's your take on the most recent Gallup poll? 50% of independent, 25% Democrat, 25% Republican. Should we consider independent candidate? Finally. Independent candidate will never be mainstream in the United States. It just won't work. It won't. We have a first past the post system, meaning people who don't win a majority, they only want a plurality, can win, and the two major parties will dictate that. So all the people who claim they're independent generally fall into those two categories anyway. Like, I'm independent because Democrats aren't far enough left for me. They'll still vote for Democrats. I'm independent because Republicans aren't far enough right. They'll still vote for Republicans. That's just the way it is. And then you might have this slim sliver who are like, I'm a complete moderate, and I'm an idiot. And those folks will be your actual swing voters, and they have no idea what they're doing. Those type of people vote for like Brexit and stuff. So no, independent candidate until we have runoff elections in this country, and we have representation in our legislative body that's proportional to the electorate. We will never have more than two parties. That's just the way it is. We might have flukes here and there, but no, it's the two-party system, and that's the way our government's set up, and it will always be that way until we change it, and the two parties are not going to change it. So, oh yeah, a good ear hole scratch, monkey. You like that? Okay. It's that he can't wait for my Wagyu A5 until it ends ramen noodles. Exactly. Belgian whales here. Belgian whale, it's really late for you. Oh my goodness. Lucky's like moaning right now. Okay. Danny Harris, did you know the pickleball craze was founded on Bainbridge Island? Of course I know the pickleball craze was founded on Bainbridge Island. We learn about this in school. My home is where pickleball started. So we can now leave the deserts of Australia and we can go to go to Bainbridge Island. Boom, boom, boom. We can go down to where the first pickleball court ever was, which was right about here. One of these houses here. That's where Congressman Joel Pritchard lived. First pickleball court. Nope, don't leave me. I know it's here. In Google Maps it shows up, not Google Earth. If I do maps, one sec. There we go. Or if I do original pickleball court. No, quit taking me. Have they removed it from Google Maps because people were showing up? They may have. Where the ferry boat ran aground a little while ago, was right by where the first pickleball court is. So first pickleball court ever. Where's our pickleball court, Washington? There we go. We at least got Jennifer's pickleball blog. Let's turn off the Google Earth here. No, I don't want to subscribe to your pickleball blog. Get the hell out of my way. Go away. Okay. So here we go. This is the Joel Pritchard court. First ever pickleball court in Washington, 1965. That's the first court. So Joel Pritchard. Is that Eddie McCallum, Brian McCallum, C-Tech. Well, this is right by Lytle Beach on Bainbridge. There we go. The original pickleball court in Washington. It's a little tarmac. Joel Pritchard's house. Joel Pritchard was the congressman here from Bainbridge, and the kids were bored, and the neighbor kids were bored, and he and his neighbors like invented pickleball with a wiffle ball and some like ping pong paddles, and made this sucker. So yeah, the whole craze started right about one of these houses in here. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of these houses in here. And a friend of the show, Ron Erickson, CEO of No Labs, his house is in that neighborhood too. He got great pictures of when that ferry boat ran aground. The ferry boat ran aground like here, and the pickleball court's like there, somewhere, something like that. But yeah, so it found it here. We were forced to play it in like elementary school, in middle school, and high school. And we'd heard that people elsewhere played it, but we never saw evidence of that. And then all of a sudden, 2020, 2021, pickleball exploded, and it is everywhere now. So it took 50 years, but they're all here now. So, okay, it's 4:30. I got to get going. I'll see you guys Monday. And then we got Charity Tuesday happening on Tuesday. So, yeah, I don't know. If PP shows up late, maybe I'll swing by and see if they'll let me on and we can talk a little bit. But it'll be late if I do get on there. Okay, everybody. Shabam.